for free.
For the free
to go.
cash.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Nostalgia Land. Today we have I think it's just super nostalgic for most of us. I think because it was also like re-released in '89 is what I saw on the VHS, which is why it was so prominent, I think, in all our...
You know how they used to do it.
Yeah.
We're bringing it out of the vault.
Coming soon to video cassette.
Mm-hmm.
Deep from the vault. It's 1973's Robin Hood, the animated classic, featured with animated people, anthropomorphic.
Disney.
From the great Walt Disney. One fun fact that I was particularly fond of and didn't know about this movie was it was the last movie that the 9 old men worked on. The original animators.
And it was the first movie without Walt.
Oh, really? Oh,
Walt had no involvement.
I thought you were going to say, like, it's the first movie that the 9 young men worked.
Oh,
Their
man.
sons came around.
Well, we're jumping in, but let's hear that bump. Play it till you hate it. That's our motto around here. Before we get started, I want to share with you guys, if you haven't gone to your local Lowe's home supply store, they now sell tiny buckets that I use for drinking out of. This is tiny bucket. And I just I feel like a giant. Like, this is huge. Oh.
That's wild. I think we talked about it before, but you know how they make those mini Coke cans?
Yeah.
They're like 8 ounces or something like that.
Yeah.
When I hold it in my hand, I feel like Andre the Giant holding a beer in his hand. I'll never forget that picture where he's holding a full-size 12-ounce can, and it looks like he's holding a child's toy.
That's how I feel right now. Anybody want a peanut?
No more rhyming, I mean it.
Anybody want a peanut?
We'll have to do that movie sometime. That's one of my all-time favorite movies.
That actually, maybe that's a good one for next week since we all know it and holidays coming up. That's kind of one of those ones that I bust out around, Thanksgiving or St. Patrick's Day or Leif Erikson Day.
We could think about it, but I feel like that's a movie that we're going to need some time to do some research.
You want to settle in on it. I get you.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in that movie.
Cycle.
Oh, there's so much, and all the stories you hear about from that movie, like from the production to the crew, the cast, and then like how much of a gentleman Andre was.
Yeah, everybody loved Andre, and how much pain he was in.
Oh yes, I mean to hear like his whole story is just how
it's heartbreaking.
We should save it, but
yeah,
so good. So 19.
Oh, man, check us out on YouTube.
Oh yes,
check us out on YouTube. Please. See the video, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, comment, give us your idea for next week. Who knows? Yeah. Maybe we do it.
Well, you can be a part of this too.
Yeah, like we always have said, we're trying to build community around this silliness that we do once a week. So be a part of it.
I'm really enjoying how the tiny bucket looks on camera. It has some more. I need some sugar tonight because I got some orange juice in here to try to pep me up. Because I don't know if anyone else is, probably not you guys down in Miami, but man, up here in the winters of North Carolina, I'm struggling with the sun at the angle that it exists at. It's always like right here, which is like mid morning. And so that's just sleepy time for me. That's just like, I drop off my kids in the morning at school. I come back and I'm just like, it's time for a nap. And then and then you have to force yourself to stay awake through it. So I'm trying to figure out how to get some red light therapy and one of those lamps that imitates the sunshine to kind of give me up some vitamin D and vitamin B and keep rolling here. But anywho, 1973 Robin Hoods. Animated classic, amazing film. I think it's It's a 7 out of 10 on the DB. Let me see here.
I'll tell you right now. I have it open. 7.5.
Oh, it's a 7.5.
I'll look it up on Rotten Tomatoes too.
I did want to ask you guys.
It's easily a 7.5, if not higher.
Yeah, I did want to ask you guys though, how you would rank them between Men in Tights, Robin Hood Men in Tights, Robin Hood with Kevin Costner, and Prince of Thieves, excuse me, and then this Robin Hood, and then just plain old Robin Hood with Russell Crowe from
that one's at the bottom.
2010. Okay, which one's that? Okay, so which one's at the bottom for you?
The Russell Crowe one has to be at the bottom because I don't remember that one at all.
Mm.
Like I remember he did it, and I remember like seeing the movie and not being like, "Oh, that movie was terrible," but it didn't stand out to me. Like, but I mean, the Kevin Costner one is what I grew up with. Like, there was a rich man from Nottingham who tried to cross a river.
Oh,
what a dope! He tripped on a rope. Now look at him shiver. Like that's classic to me.
So
That's
Rotten
Christian
Tomatoes
Slater,
has
right?
A 58 meter score, like critic score, and then an 81%.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, take that critic score and just put it in the garbage all the time because the critics are full of crap.
You know what it is? Sometimes you know too much about movies and film. You've seen too many things.
You're jaded
through it, and you're constantly just comparing it to like, well, it wasn't like this that I really liked, but that's so based on personal fact that I just say, like, if it's above a 5, go see it, watch it, check it out. If it's a 4 or a 3, anywhere, that's pretty, I think that's safe to say that's not a good movie,
unless you're in for like watching a horrible movie, and then go ahead.
Yeah, then do that, which can also be fun. I mean, I think there's plenty of ways you can either use Chat GPT or, there's also ones just on, you can Google it. Like if you want to watch, I think there's like an Austin Powers drinking game. There's a drinking game for everything. And so you can make one, but let's see it like, and we keep talking about it. Kroll.
You don't need to see
you don't need to see Kroll.
I don't need to see Kroll.
But back to the rankings. I don't even know if you can. Oh, that's bullshit. I don't even know if you can fairly rank those movies against each other as far as watchability, because once you put Russell Crowe's movie at the bottom of the watchability scale, now you're dealing with 3 completely different movies. Where one is a serious take on the Robin Hood story, one is a hilarious comedy that's in the ethos of Mel Brooks, and then you have the animated one, which is so fantastic. I mean, it's so strange watching this movie again. How many adult words are used that I'm like, there's no way a kid would know what that word meant.
Would pick up on that.
Yeah, that would go right over my head, and I wouldn't even question it.
I knew I had looked that up. It's funny you saw. I had to find it I had it in like my notes. Entertainment Weekly did a rating, and these movies don't even crack the top 3. Besides the
Robin Hood movies,
the animated one makes number 3, and that's the only one. So the one that comes in like 10th or 9th out of 10. Is the 2018 one with Taron Egerton. Did you even remember they made that? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
They made a Robin Hood movie with Taron Egerton, the guy who plays Elton John. Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's the one from 91, the British adaptation one, the same one that basically, what's his name? Kevin Costner's in, but it's the British version, not the English one. So then it goes Number 7 is Robin Hood 2010. That's the Russell Crowe. Then number 6 is Robin Hood Men in Tights. Number 5 is Robin Hood Prince of Thieves. Then it's Robin and Marion with Sean Connery. Plays Robin Hood.
What?
From 1976.
Okay, well, I've never seen that.
Plays Maid Marian. Then Robin Hood from 73 is number 3. Then Robin Hood from 1922.
Is it Robin Hood and His Merry Men?
It's just called Robin Hood.
Okay.
And then the number 1 is The Adventures of Robin Hood from 1938. So it came out after.
I feel like they're just like they're the OGs, so they get bumped up there.
But out of the ones we were talking about, the animated one ranks highest.
It's like have you ever seen True Grit?
Yes,
no.
I've seen True Grit.
So they made a modern day adaptation. The Coen Brothers did.
Yeah,
and it's a phenomenal movie.
It's really fun.
And John Wayne made the original True Grit, and our dad was telling me about it. So I actually went and watched it, and I'm like, oh, this is a good movie. It's very in that time period of all the westerns coming out and John Wayne being the Duke, and it's really good. But I'm partial to the newer, darker movie, but I also saw it first. So it's kind of like this is my true grit and that is his true grit. So they'll never be on the level for us because
This is
you
my
saw
true
one
grit.
first. Exactly.
Was this anyone's? Was this Tyler? This would have been yours or Travis's. Did you see? They re-released it apparently in movie theaters before they then republished it on VHS. Did you guys go see it in
I
the
don't
theater or
remember
no?
if I ever saw it or not.
Trying
I'm
to
not good at
remember.
remembering that kind of stuff.
What's funny is I so brightly remember going to see Star Kid in that random movie theater that was next to Coco Walk. It was like a threeplex or something. And there was like back in the day, there was the Coco Walk movie theater, the Regal, and there was this weird side movie theater just like a block down from there. And that's the last like big memory I have of what movie I went to go see.
I have two memories of going to the theater. One was going to see Ace Ventura in the theaters, and we got there late. We missed the beginning of the movie, so I was very confused as to why he was riding around with his head out the window, and then with a smashed up windshield.
Yeah.
And then our aunt that lived in Miami for a long time, after church one Sunday, took me to a dollar theater, and we saw Stargate with Kurt Russell.
Man.
And the funniest, it was the funniest experience ever because she didn't realize that this dollar theater was a Spanish theater. And it was subtitled in Spanish the entire movie.
Yeah.
Which is totally fine, except for the fact that there's a lot of aliens in Stargate that speak in an alien language, and it's subtitled. And so you couldn't understand what the aliens were saying because it was subtitled in Spanish. And she kept saying, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I finally just turned and I said, yeah, Marcia, I've seen this movie like 5 times. It's all good. You want me to explain to you what's happening?
Yeah.
I got you. So I told her what was going on, and like, it was awesome. But it's one of those things that you'll remember that forever. Like, I don't know.
Subtitle, zip it.
Yeah.
Zip it.
Man, so I remember this one very distinctly being on our VHS, our wall of VHS tapes and our cabinet of VHS tapes, and I mean, just loving that. I remember I'd put this movie on like probably once a week at least when I was like from the ages of 5 to maybe 7 or 8. This was constantly rolling in the VCR for me. But what's funny is I know that a lot of the characters in this movie, because I always thought it was budget, but I just recently learned that it's not. But I used to thought that they reused a lot of scenes and stuff.
Yeah, I was actually going to talk about this too. Because that was fascinating to me. I found this one YouTube video because there were a lot of videos that I watched where people were saying it's called Xeroxing, where they use basically almost frame for frame, shot for shot from other movies, like the part when Maid Marian's dancing, when they're singing the.
Apart on the phony king of England.
The pop song, exactly that song. That's shot for shot from Snow White.
And then when Little John's dancing with the chick, King Louis and Baloo from
with the hen. But I actually found out, and there's actual interviews with animators from that time that worked with the head animator from the 9 Old Men, that talked about how it actually takes longer, and they can't reuse the animation. They have to redraw everything because the characters are not the same. Even though they are the same, they're different colors, they're different, they're wearing different things. It's completely different. It actually takes longer, and it's harder to do because you want to be as true as possible to what you're mimicking. What it really was the head animator showing his knowledge of animation, because back then these movies came out in the theater and then you never saw them again. There was no tape that they came out on. There was no VHS or anything like that.
Yeah, there wasn't a library there. Blockbuster. When did Blockbuster come around? 89, 88? I'm gonna look that up. But like the video rental stores, and putting this out there didn't have this. There wasn't. It's crazy to think that they would make these kids movies, and Disney did it so that there would be something that kids would look forward to when they saw him. They saw them in the parks, like in Disneyland, and then later on but there wasn't really like the idea of the marketing for the children's like media. That wasn't really a thing until I want to say The Little Mermaid came out in 89, and then they were like, oh, holy crap. And it started this huge renaissance for Disney to then create all these other movies which were basically musicals with Alan Menken Steven Sotheimer. Am I saying his name right? Probably.
Sodheim.
I
don't know. It's close to that.
Uh,
we do this a lot. If you're just joining us, we do this a lot with names. We're not very good at it.
We're not good with the names and the words. Yeah, so Blockbuster.
I'm not good with the boys because I used to be one.
But I mean, him and Alan Menken writing all these movies and stuff, and now that was such a cultural thing, and it's so cool to me that I can still show my kids these movies, and when these movies are on, they like shut down, they stop what they're doing, and they focus. And if you're raising kids these days, you realize how difficult that is to get them to do that for anything. So
did you see the studies about that they did about showing kids 90s TV as compared to TV and like internet shows today?
I did, but yeah, sure. Yeah.
Where they found that if you take kids and you sit them down in front of a 90s show, they get sucked into the show and they watch the entire show. But as soon as that show ends, you can say, okay, now let's go do this. And they just say, okay. And they go and they do other things. If you put on like your today's stuff, I wouldn't say Miss Rachel and like I think Bluey also was kind of excluded from that.
Banger.
Yeah.
Where
new songs up banger.
They're more in the vein of the old school where they're not as like cut, but like Cocomelon is like crack for children.
Yeah. Yes.
And they can't be pulled away from it. They freak out when you try to get them away. And it was really fascinating to see that the stuff that we grew up with was a lot better for the developing mind.
Yeah.
Than what the kids are. A lot of kids are subjected to these days, and parents have caught on. I think a lot more. I don't see or hear about these Cocomelon things and stuff like that anymore because they got it down to a science where there was a song every so many seconds, and then there was a cut, and then there was a cut, and they had literally scientifically broke it down on how to keep kids' minds addicted to the show, which is just so awesome for these people to do to our children these days.
I mean, that's a great PSA to all parents out there, man. Like, take a look and really like pay attention. Like, how many people listening to our podcast? Like, I hope they understand. Like, watch what your kids are watching and like really understand like how the mode has changed. This is no longer about being entertaining to kids or like teaching lessons or instilling values. It is strictly to create addiction. And I'll die on this hill. It is to create just little addicts to just constantly, reload that YouTube page, reload that Netflix show. Now Cocomelon's on Netflix, and so I've actually blocked a lot of that stuff from my early. This was a couple of years ago, as my kids are a little older now. But I've blocked a lot of that stuff. And I think of two episodes that like I'm dying to show my 10-year-old now from Hey Arnold, and one is Birdman. Or Pigeon Man, the Pigeon Man, and the other one is Stoop Kid is afraid to leave his stoop.
Kid's afraid to leave his stoop.
Exactly, and I think that show like teaches so much about like kindness and like understanding the outcasts, understanding like trying to like understand who those people are, like where they're actually coming from, like what. There's so much depth to the show, so maybe that's what we should review next week or something.
I don't know why it made me think of it, but I saw a meme like yesterday where it said that Sesame Street will have its first homeless character. Yeah. And the first comment was, Oscar the Grouch has lived in a trash can for 47 years.
That Dave Chappelle bit.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Come on, a little like Bob Grouch.
Yeah. Then we wonder why our children grow up to step over homeless people. Get it together, Grouch.
Well, there was
a job, Grouch.
I live in a freaking trash can.
Bitch, I live in a fucking trash.
Poorest person on Sesame Street, and nobody's helping me.
Well, what's it recently on SNL during the news segment with Colin Jost and he was talking about how Sesame Street is now introducing two more black characters, two more black Muppets, and his question was, so are all of these Muppets white? And it was like Big Bird and Grover and Elmo. And
what the hell is Snuffleupagus?
Wait, hold on.
He's like Dave Chappelle said, he's a drug addict. Hi, Bird. Give me some smack, Bird.
Smack, Bird.
Oh God, yeah. So I thought it was interesting. I love everyone being represented. I certainly think that's great visually. But I did ask that question. I was like, wait, what? Then who?
Never once in my life did I think about race when I was watching, unless they were talking about race on the
Yes.
episode.
Which
Did I think about, man, that giant bird is a white dude?
That's my white friend. That's my.
I thought he was a giant yellow bird. That's what I thought.
You're
I used
wrong.
to love. You ever see the movie where they do like the road trip? Big
Yes.
Bird's Adventure, something like that.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
Man, that's taking me back right now.
that's a good one. That's like the original Muppet movie for me, dude. That's up there.
That's a good one.
Oh yeah, so many good options here. Please comment, let us know what you want to hear if one of these stuck with you. But I think we can get to the plot. What?
One thing, huh?
Please do Sesame Street.
Yeah.
This episode brought to you by the letter Q.
One thing I love in this movie is the music and how you could take the music out and the movie works without it.
Mm-hmm.
That it's not so it's not so essential to the plot where they use it to explain everything to you, but it does a little bit. But like it opens on just the whistling. Mm-hmm. Which we did at the beginning of the show, and then
I can't do right. My mic blocks it out.
Right after that, followed into Robin Hood and Little John walking through the forest.
Well, I like the way they do the song in the beginning is like them coming out of the book.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they're just like parading past and doing all that stuff. And I thought it was really cool how one guy in the YouTube pointed out how like this movie's kind of tongue in cheek with the traditional tale of Robin Hood, where when they're first zooming down on the book, there's two pictures on the page, and one is a man, Robin Hood, with the arrow pulled back. And then at the top of the page is the rooster, and it's coming down on the page, and kind of towards the last second, it pans up onto the rooster instead of going down onto the Robin Hood like you would expect. And he's dressed as the minstrel, and just such a great job. The only voice actor that out of this whole movie that I kind of noticed was the little mouse priest.
Oh yes,
it was like something about it, the way his voice was recorded. I don't know if it was the guy doing it, but his voice was the only one where it didn't 100% work for me. Every other voice in this whole thing fits perfectly with their character, and was awesome. His voice wasn't bad. It was something a little off feeling for me, but I was also paying attention to that stuff watching the movie this time, trying to like, does that work? Does that work? You know, trying to be extra critical.
A lot of these guys went on to have like pretty extensive voice acting careers at Disney. Sherry of Nottingham did like Goofy Movie and a bunch of other stuff. The Little John is Baloo.
Yeah, and this was the last movie
he really
did
good at
before he
playing
died.
bears.
Oh man, really?
This was the last Disney movie he voiced before he passed away.
Phil Harris. So Phil Harris, I know him randomly. That my grandpa had his album. It's like a comedy album, and he has one of those. It's such a recognizable voice.
And you're like, why are you listening to Baloo?
Yeah, I was like, what is this? And he was like, no, let me show you, let me teach you. And I think it was just after these came out on VHS, and I was watching them all the time. I'm sure I had a copy out in Missouri too. And one time he put on that album, and he played that song that goes, "Get out of here with that dun dun dun, and don't come back no more." Like he has a lot of comedy, and he's like such a cool, like hip cat, man. Like I have no idea who told him to be like, you're the 60s, you're gonna be amazing, and just like, yeah, real jivey kind of cool guy. Like, and it just works for him. And he was like in his 60s, like 70s then.
Duke Silver.
Yeah, but
back.
I love how this opens up. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, he was born in 1904
in jazz.
Wait, so Phil Harris died? Is that right? Because he says he lived to 95.
This was his last Disney movie before he passed away. His last voice acting job.
Oh, his Disney movie. Okay, man. Because I was like, wait, he died shortly after this? That's crazy. No, but I did love how the first time I watched this, and this is pretty recent actually. We like last week we're watching this, and then when you guys suggested it, I was like, oh yeah, let's do that. I kind of noticed that it was like, in a way, it was like Disney kind of was like knowingly saying like, hey, these are characters that like you kind of know already. Like Baloo is still being the bear, and that's still Phil Harris, and there's a lot of that where it was kind of, it didn't feel recycled. It just, honestly, it felt like a stage company. Like this is the set
like
cast.
a theater.
Yes, this is the set cast, and now they're portraying this.
Yeah.
And that, I actually, the way they introduce the characters in the opening credits is great too, because it kind of gives that same like, okay, it's this person, he's playing this a bear, it's Phil Harris, he's playing a bear, or Little John, and that's his title, is his tag. But you're right, it opens up as such a great, like, just a song, just a minstrel by the Alan Adale. Is she's like, I love the way he puts it, because it feels like such like a little folksy country western kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, Robin Hood and Little John walking through the forest, laugh, this and that, and other had to say. Then, I mean, you can't put a price on how well Disney knew how to like grab an audience out the gate, because, I mean, they just did it so well. And I'm so nostalgic for this movie because it's from the 70s, and I don't know who the background artists are, but the backgrounds in this remind me of like Winnie the Pooh, the Aristocats, this movie. What else was around there? This was the third one. It was driving me crazy.
This movie reminds me of this movie.
Yeah.
This movie
totally took me right back to Robin Hood when I was watching Robin Hood.
But it's that sketchy, like, if you look at their outlines while they're moving, like their outlines change almost every single frame, just a hair, and so they kind of have this sketchy, like they're really moving, like they're very alive, and it's something I think Disney captured, and they're like, oh, that totally works, that's how we do this. Because otherwise, I don't know, in terms of an animation style, so many animations, like especially from this era, from early on when they weren't sure, you know, okay, we're doing this, we're doing hand-drawn cells still, some of those still feel so stiff in comparison to what's happening here. So I don't know, if you want to roll on with the plot,
it's very fluid, very fluid feeling, this one. There's some shots of Trigger when he's got old Bessie and he shoots it, and the bow across the crossbow is like, like super fast, and you could just imagine how long that took to sit there and draw frame by frame, cell by cell, over and over and over and over again, the same scene, to get it to wiggle that rapidly back and forth. It's got to be insane.
I mean, at least
it took like 3 to 4 years to make these movies.
Oh wow, really? I didn't realize it was a 3 or 4 year business. I would have said like maybe a year or year and a half to get this down, but no, 3 or 4. Wow, dude.
Yeah, that's what they were talking about when the animators were being interviewed. Now, today's animation with your Toy Stories and your computer stuff, it could take up to 5 years to get one of those movies done. But they're just, it's like such a different level of animation. I mean,
it's just
crazy.
It's in its own field. It's like
crazy,
3D compared to hand-drawn. Yeah, in its own field. But we open with Robin and Little John walking through the forest, and it just sets it up that, you know, okay, the sheriff is after them, and they're kind of bad at shooting and trying to actually hit them, and they're really good at getting away. And I think it just sets it up. You know, it's a good premise that, you know, you set it up that, okay, I think Baloo. Sorry, I'm going to say Baloo a lot, but it's Little John. Little John asks at some point, is like, Robin, like, we the bad guys here? Like,
that's one of the moments that I was referring to earlier, where it's very adult in the stuff that they're addressing, where small children are not going to pick up on what they're talking about. But he asks him, are we actually the good guys in this? Because we're robbing from people, and Robin's response is, we're not robbing, we're borrowing from people who can afford it.
Yeah,
and then he says, "Oh, we're borrowing.
Man, are we in debt?"
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's great. So we introduced, I think, one of the most iconic characters of this, because Robin Hood is great, Baloo is Baloo, but
John.
Baloo's not Little John. Sorry, Little John.
Oh, you want to hear a funny little quick anecdote? Speaking of Baloo. I went to Lubbock this past week, and my buddy's dad was with us, and he's been having some back issues, and so he would go up to the corners of buildings, and like where the sharp point would go, he'd put his back on there and kind of rock back and forth. Yeah. And I was standing there looking at him, and I'm like, "Your back hurting?" He's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, yeah. for the bare necessities.
necessity.
So several times over the trip, either me or somebody else would just see him, and just you'd hear, "Look for the bare necessity," and we'd all kind of stop and wait around for him to rub his back for a minute. It was really funny. It became like the theme song of the trip.
Oh yeah, that's the theme song for life. No, so what I was saying was, as iconic as Robin Hood and Little John are, I can't help but like Prince John steals every scene.
As a
The
child.
voice actor in it,
Yeah.
his whole like his demeanor, the whole that he's like kind of infantilized a little bit, sucking his thumb and playing with his ear every time he mentions like you broke your mother's mirror. But
Every time his mom gets brung up.
yes, and one of the funniest recurring lines to me is he's always shoving Hiss away, his serpent, you know,
Hiss,
you're
never here when I need you.
Yes, exactly. You're never here when I need you. Hiss, hiss. He's calling to him all the time. But it's really, it's just two moments that I remember with him. And things that stood out to me in this movie that I was like, holy crap, was how they kept his expressions are some of the funniest ones. If you pause it at any moment, like if you pause at any moment, you catch the right cell frame. Like he is just like the biggest character in the whole film. But then Hiss, and this one I think I've seen other people point out on Instagram. Hiss, so Robin Hood and Little John, they realize that it's Prince John's like caravan going by, and they're like, oh crap, okay, we're gonna pretend to be fortune tellers, and so they dress and drag and do the hula, and they pretend to, you know,
forecast, Lucky Charms.
Yeah. But it's two scenes where it's like I accidentally paused it. Was Baloo's like, hell no, I'm not about to go rob the actual prince. I'm not doing this. And Robin Hood comes around behind him, pushes right up on his boobs, his fake boobs. He's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And there's kind of a moment where like Little John, it's like a frame, and he looks down like don't touch me there. And then they keep going, but he shoves Hiss away and he puts him and he's like, Hiss, like, go away, go to your basket. And these mother truckers of animators somehow gave a snake elbows to lean on. Like, yeah. I can't imagine what level of creativity took that then they were like, oh yeah, and then he's going to fold his body over that basket. It's going to look like arms, like he's resting on them. And then he's like, and the snakes don't run, they slither or something. You creative bastard.
Yeah, so clever.
Why? Like, how do I get to be you? So,
and I love what they did with Prince John and how he's a lion, which you associate with being the king of the jungle, but he's a cowardly lion, and he's super thin, and his head is kind of pointed, and the huge crown that goes on King Richard is constantly falling down his head, and he's got to use his ears to hold it up. Yes. And he just looks like a punk. Like he's just a punk ass bitch the whole time, trying to masquerade as the King of England, while his brother's off fighting in the Crusades,
which is insane. That, like, his
did they mention the Crusades?
Fighting in the Crusades. But they
but that was the story of Robin Hood. That's why King Richard was gone.
They drew him that way on purpose because they gave King Richard the older brother the big mane, and they made him very big, and he
looks very regal.
And John's supposed to be a child, like he's not old enough to fight in the Crusades, so he stays home to run the kingdom, and that's why.
You know what it felt like to me was very Lion King-esque. With Mufasa and Scar. Yeah. Mufasa is this giant regal lion that, you know, with James Earl Jones for his voice, very booming, very like, you know, demonstrative. And then you got Scar, who's just very weaselly, and even though Scar looks badass for a bad guy, but
smart too.
Yeah, for sure.
People don't know, but they win. Like those designs, character designs, like they win awards. And
of course,
Scar won of some animation award. It's like the Oscars of animation. Of like, holy crap! Like you drew that kind of like on a professional setting. Oh my god! So, so the catch came.
Hold on, were you done? Try to cut you off there.
Sorry, Trey,
no,
what was that?
he's supposed to be attuned to a child. That's why he acts the way he acts. The sucking of the thumb. He's an adolescent,
And
basically,
I
because
also
he's not
saw
old enough to fight, so he has to stay behind. But he is petty and envious of his older brother.
Yeah, super envious of.
And mommy always liked Richard best. And
yeah, he says it like 2 or 3 times during the movie, I think.
Well,
but,
I didn't catch
one
it.
Thing too that I lost my train of thought. Go ahead, Matt. I lost my train of thought.
I didn't catch it. I mean, this is probably the 100th time I've watched this movie. I never caught the little conversation between Prince John and Hiss, where they say, "Oh yeah, like Hiss used his hypnosis to convince King Richard to go fight in those silly crusades and leave you in charge." And I've watched this movie 36 years now. Never once caught that little note. Be like, oh, like this was a scam from the beginning. It wasn't just like King Richard was like, oh yeah, I'm going, you stay and run it. And it's so now to rewatch this with the idea that like he's maybe 18 or like 16 years old or something like that, like a child.
He's just an idiot.
Yeah, because he's just rather than just an idiot. Wow, this changes my perception on it and why
he's a greedy little
asshole. Hey, he's making them at night.
He's not making them at night. Dad.
So this movie, the plot kicks off because Power Boners, Maid Mary comes back from France, and Robin Hood's like, "It's about that time, hey chap." I know, bud. Let's go compete in the archery tournament. And of course,
before we get to the archery tournament, we can't skip over it because this is like one of the best parts of the whole
party.
Movie. Yeah, they're at the birthday party for the little rabbit, and
it's where you find out that Prince John is a big a-hole who taxes everybody.
Yeah, taxes the hell out of everybody, and I love how they did the sheriff and the attributes that they give to these characters are incredible.
He does like
he's so full of himself and so proud and like egotistical that they gave him the bounce to his walk. So he's just so proud of himself and the crappiness of himself.
You see that belly just swing. Yeah. That belly just swings the whole time, man. It's so good.
And Robin plays the blind beggar, Robin Hood, so that he can get in and find out information and check on people and see how they're doing and be in disguise in order to do it. So he comes in, for the paw. And oodalali. What the hell is oodalali?
Oodalali. That's like I'm equating it to like, holy shit is what it is. Because that's kind of like it's like a reference, which is like every like oh yeah or like hooray yes huzzah.
Yeah, huzzah. That's what I felt like. Instead of them saying huzzah, they say oodalali. And Robin shows up and after the sheriff of Nottingham steals the kid's present of a farthing, which is just 1 coin for the taxes.
Skippy the bunny.
Yeah, Skippy. And he gives Skippy a bow and arrow and but shows himself to be Robin Hood, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, it's Robin Hood!" And the sister says, "He looks even better than he does in his wanted posters." And then you have the greatest character in the entire movie, their little sister or brother. I think it's a brother. Yeah. And she's like, "Hi, Mr. Robin Hood. Don't forget to come back next year on my birthday."
Yeah.
Our brother Tanner will bust that line out. Yeah. Like he's so good at his timing and delivery, and he'll bust that line out. And every time he cracks me up because he'll be like, "Come back soon on my birthday." I'm like, oh my gosh, it works perfect, and you do the voice so well. Gosh,
I don't think I've had the pleasure or joy of getting to hear him do that.
Yeah, because he's smart with it. He doesn't drop it on you all the time. He doesn't overuse. He waits, and it's in there in the old noggin, and then here it comes on my birthday, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
He goes to practice his bow and arrow shooting with his siblings and Toby the turtle.
Oh yeah,
Toby the turtle. I love this.
And they shoot the bow and arrow into basically the badminton court of Maid Marian and the hen.
There's a whole lot of shuttlecock flying around this scene of this movie.
The shuttlecock goes into the
maid in waiting. Cluck. What's her name?
That cock goes into that hen's boobs.
Well, they do breast animation in this and like boob jokes like constantly in this movie. Like when they're robbing Prince John and in his caravan at first. Damn it! I almost said Baloo again. Little John is like filling up his chest, like filling up his shirt, each one with coins and stuff like that. And he's walking around holding them. Mm-hmm. Like he's holding them, and then you get like a classic like. From one of the rhinos
like, "Hey, sexy!
Oh, look at you!
Oh, very nice. I like. How much?"
The best part of this whole thing is they're debating if they're going to go in and get the
Lady
arrow
Cluck.
because if they're going to go get the arrow because he's like, "Now you've done it." Yeah. Prince John's in there, and Skippy says, "Prince John doesn't scare me." And the turtle pulls his head into his shell, and he's like, "He scares me. He's cranky."
Yeah, and there's a great echo on his voice because he's inside the shell.
But the best is they're like, "We can't go in there, or Toby will tattle on us." He's like,
basically, snitches get stitches is what they have a whole conversation about.
Do the oath. They make him take the oath, and they make him cross his eyes.
Yeah, put your hand over your heart, across your eyes.
What is
Spiders, it? Snakes in a lizard's head. If I tattletale, I'll die till I'm dead.
And then they end up going inside to get it, and
they enact the plot pretty well in about 5 seconds.
That's it. The movie over.
Yeah,
it's the movie.
Sneaks in there, grabs that arrow, and Maid Marian catches him, and then she calls for the other
siblings.
Yeah, all the other kids to come out, and they basically have a wonderful conversation with the wonderful Maid Marian, and she's so sweet and kind. And that's when they talk about the tournament
of the golden arrow.
They tell Robin about the tournament, and Robin decides. And they basically explain that Maid Marian and Robin Hood are in love, even though they were like 12 when she left for France. And
all the earlier times, you got married at like 14, so that's
true. Exactly. Yeah. She fell in love because he carved their names into a tree. They didn't even like kiss.
Hard to do.
It's true.
It's not easy, especially depending on kind of
what
the tournament
is the trap. Prince John tries to trap Robin Hood on many occasions in this movie because he wants him arrested for always getting the best of him, stealing his gold and his rings and basically anything he can get his hands on.
Yeah.
So he dresses as a stork to enter the archery tournament, and he is on twigs, walking with his shoes on. You can visibly see that they're sticks.
Yeah, for sure.
Not to these folks, man. That's
but his mouth it opens and closes perfectly like a stork's would, and it has a tongue to it. It looks like a stork's mouth when it opens.
What happened is they spent all their time on the mouth. It was time for the tournament. He's like, just give me some clothes and some sticks.
Just sticks.
Like, quick. Dude, why don't your pants go all the way to the floor and cover your sticks? No time. Fix the mouth. Yeah.
Even his bow and arrow is just like a branch where he was like, give me that, and I'll tie a string here.
Together.
Doesn't matter. I'm the world's best archer. Ask Hawkeye.
Yeah.
He's the original Hawkeye. But I think we have to for a moment, when I was watching this, I was like, this has to be easily one of my favorite heroes that doesn't wear pants or fights without pants. And my top 3 of this were Robin Hood, John Cena, and Austin Powers. Fully, they have full episodes where they're not, and I mean, Robin Hood's not wearing pants throughout this whole thing, and that's why I actually wanted to pull it up because so many people in comments of this movie were like, "This was my first crush. This was the person. This was Robin Hood was the first thing that I felt as a woman." And I was like, I had full crush on. I wanted to share this clip from Kimmy Schmidt because I just realized oh my god, it summarized it so well. Let me play this for you. If you're watching, please come to our YouTube and check it out. Or listening, please come to our YouTube and check it out.
You know who Robin Hood is? Yeah, that Disney movie where Robin Hood's a fox. When you were little, did you think he was handsome? And then, your crotch gets a headache?
Are you kidding? That voice and how he didn't wear pants? Oh.
Your crotch gets a headache.
Yeah, that show's so funny.
That show's the best. Your crotch gets a headache. Are you kidding?
What's that on?
Voice? It's on Netflix.
Okay.
It's honestly, it's 30 Rock. It might be no. It wouldn't be on Peacock. It was a Netflix exclusive. But yeah, it's 30 Rock, but it's I don't know.
My favorite disguise is Little John in clothes that don't fit as an aristocrat, basically. And he walks right up to the prince. Nobody stops him.
Who is right now the king of
Right,
England,
that's
not
right.
the prince.
But they call him Prince John, which is really funny. Because
The whole
they know,
time.
like, if Richard comes back, he's going to beat that snot
Yeah.
out of you, dude.
If Richard comes back, you his bitch.
And he walks up and sits down and calls him PJ and is talking to him.
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
loves it. He
I
loves
like
it.
that.
PJ.
Yeah, you know,
PJ.
And then if you notice for
I
the
love
rest
it.
of the movie, Hiss calls him PJ.
Yes.
Well, the best part about this is he banishes Hiss again, and Hiss gets put in a balloon, and he blows himself up and starts using his tail as a propeller, and he's flying around the tournament.
And every single time Robin and Lil Jon do these disguises, Hiss knows instantly that it's them, and he's trying to prove it. And Prince PJ always ends up literally tying him in knots and getting rid of him.
Shoving
But
him in
yeah.
a basket,
And
or
you
then
know,
he
he
gets
ends up-
caught
where he's
and he gets shoved in
interrupting
a
him.
barrel
Well,
of ale.
Yeah, but you get the
Yeah.
scene before that where he goes to hit him in the head, and Hiss dodges his punch, and he looks at him and says, "Hiss, you deliberately dodged,"
Move.
and makes him stand still so he
Come
can
back.
bonk him on the head again. So he finds out that Robin Hood is the stork, and Friar Tuck uses the minstrel's what's it called? Not a guitar. It's called
lute?
thank you, the lute, to fire an arrow and pop the balloon so they can grab him and stuff him into a barrel of ale. And you hear him as he's going in going, "No, please, not here. I don't drink." I
Yeah,
don't drink.
That's one of the best lines of the movie, and it's so subtle and so like drowned out in a bunch of noise that he says, "I don't drink," and then they shove the cork in it.
Yes. You
He's
come
just
back
stuck
So-
in a barrel of ale.
The finalists are Robin and the Sheriff of
Sheriff,
Nottingham.
yeah.
Rib,
Yeah.
the sheriff's supposed to win. And the best is they get
And the winner gets to kiss Maid
What's his
Marian.
name? Right, but the Trigger.
Trigger.
They
Trigger.
get Trigger to go in. He's like, "On the double, yes, sir, Sheriff, sir." It's inside the target and goes back 30 paces. And the sheriff shoots and is going to miss this target by about 40 feet. And this bird just flies into the air and punk right in the chest. And he tries to mess with Robin by hitting the bottom of his bow, and the arrow goes way up in the air. And you get the cool scene where he fires the arrow to hit his original arrow. So it comes
Yeah.
down and rips through the center of the bullseye.
Yeah,
I got-
that's the sheriff's arrow too.
Yeah.
And in twine, split it in twine.
In twain.
Twine. That guy
And he
yelling.
goes to bow to Prince John to accept the arrow, and he cuts his disguise off, and
Yeah.
they seize Robin. And then Maid
From-
Marian makes the plea for mercy to free, and he's not going to do it. He's going to let this super cool looking executioner rhino. He looks like the dude from Pigskin Football,
Yeah, he
Yeah.
does.
At
It
halftime.
was a great game.
and he's coming in. And all of a sudden, Prince John is like, "Release my buddy!" And we're like, "Buddy!" And it turns out that Little John is behind the curtain, basically stabbing him with a knife,
Yeah.
telling him, "Release my buddy, or I found a new pin cushion."
Yes. You got to go back and watch that, like when all the archers, and they're all different animals, they line up, and there's like a warthog, there's a shaggy dog with like, he's got
With the-
hair over his eyes, and
The
he kind of
cast on the dog
he
with
kinda-
the cat.
like blows, like he blows his tuft of hair and then fires. Like the whole character designs of this, like I definitely feel like now we got Zootopia 2 coming out. They definitely came back and watched how
Oh no, the guy
These
that
characters.
did Zootopia, he was in that same YouTube video I saw with the interviews with the animators, and he talked about how that's why he wrote Zootopia, because he was such a huge fan of this movie when he was growing up, that that's why he went with the what is it?
Anthropomorphic.
Anthropomorphic. That's what it is.
'cause, like,
With that style and that storytelling avenue, because he was such a huge fan of Robin Hood back in the day.
yeah, because I mean, like you look at, I mean, there's pigs, there's warthogs, there's a goose, there's turtles. There's some kind of ferret thing. I got to pull it up next to me on this. But like I'm looking like there's some weird ferret. The raccoons are one of my favorite ones through the whole movie. That's actually going to be my question for you guys at the end of the side characters who are your favorite. But we can keep going. But
Come
I mean,
back
like
next year on my birthday.
yeah, but they're so, I mean, amazingly character design, anthropomorphized, I think it is. Forgive us, anyone listening. Words, we know words. Take 3. Anyways,
I know some of these words.
Yeah, I know some of these, but they're so beautifully like designed and decorated. Like this is a study class, and it does honestly feel that way of like, oh man, the 9 old men, like this was their.
Could you
like,
imagine
last
being able
hurrah.
to sit down and just be like, "Oh, I'm going to draw Little John or Prince John." Done.
Yeah, and figure that
No
out.
problem.
Yeah.
Like, no worries. I can just do that whenever I feel like it. Like, I'm bored. I'm just going to draw this cartoon scene. Yeah, cool. I wish.
Oh, you're fine.
People are like, "Can you draw a stick figure?" And I'm like, "If I give it a lot of time." I don't know. I can't draw to save money. If you put a gun to my head, I'd be like, "Oh God, just shoot me now."
For those listening though, there is a great, because I've wanted to buy. It's been on my Amazon wish list for like years now. But there's a great. It's on Amazon. You can find it. It's the 9 Old Men's sketchbooks, and it's like a collection of their sketches from their years at Disney and like what they drew. It's really cool because each book is like, this is, this is this guy, this is this guy. And you can go through and be like, oh, so he designed Snow White. Oh, he designed Dopey.
That's
and
cool.
like they were so specific to each one. And like you can just see like that's how he figured out how to draw Pinocchio. That's how he figured out how to draw this guy. And it's just really cool how to see it. So it's like a box set. I don't even know if it's still in print. I just need to go ahead and order that. Be an adult. Just finally buy that because
spend some money.
I think I've wanted that since college. Which God was almost.
So after this,
13
Robin breaks out of his chains and they have a big brawl scene, and you figure out this is where American football was invented because this hen goes on a run of all runs, just palming rhinos.
She's like, Darren Sharper, hold my dick.
That Darren Sharper, one of the hardest hitting safeties in the league.
Though.
Break the plane, touchdown.
Darren Sharper, hold my dick.
She's for it though. This is amped up. She was ready. She's been thinking about this for years.
Doesn't care. Low center of gravity.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
Head down.
Good point.
And her and Little John keep getting kicked out of a back end of a tent where they're having a brawl. And my favorite line is Little John's like, "What a lovely brawl." Runs back into the tent. But they escape to Sherwood Forest, and that's where you get like the best scene where they're all making fun of Prince John and they're all singing around the campfire that they've made in Sherwood Forest. Yeah. But like any good party,
that's the pox on the
the
pox on the
pox on the phony king of England.
Phony king. I wanted to say lovely for some reason.
England.
And apparently that was like a take on an actual song, but I think instead of the pox, it was like or a pox on the bastard king of England or something like that. Like the real song. So they funded up for the movie.
Yeah, the too late to be known as John the First. He's sure to be known as John the Worst.
Yeah.
And they're doing a puppet show, and Friar Tuck lights up this King John puppet.
Friar Tuck, they originally had him as a pig, but they felt like it would be too offensive to certain religious groups, so they changed him to a badger.
No, really?
Badger.
Because
what's that? Honey badger was supposed to be a goat.
Yeah, a goat. But the wolf just works so much better.
They thought it was a more villain. Well, wolves play a villain in a lot of Disney movies. Even in Frozen, there's villain wolves.
It's the look. I mean, wolves you can just make them look so evil. You could also use them to be awesome, but you can make them look so evil so easy.
I'm trying to think. One hilarious wolf was in The Sword in the Stone. It keeps chasing them back and forth. It keeps just getting mutilated the whole time. I think Jungle Book had good wolves though. That was his family. Tangled, I think there was bad wolves.
Zootopia has wolves.
There was bad wolves. Zootopia, there's bad wolves. Yeah, you're right. They really just kind of rag on wolves. And let me tell you, the other thing to notice when you're watching, like, there's no horses in this movie, which I thought was interesting. because I mean, well, I don't know actually why, but
They
I
all
think
went
it's
to the
hilarious.
crusade and died.
They all went to the crusade, yeah. But Disney loves a talkative horse. Disney
Yeah.
loves a funny horse, dude. They've been doing
you
it
guys,
since
you
the
guys have
60s.
seen
Homer.
Bed Knobs and Broomsticks, right?
Yes, love
Yeah.
Bed Knobs and
Not
Broomsticks.
in a
Yeah,
long
we're
time.
definitely gonna do that. I watched it not too long ago because Disney Plus, you can watch all these old movies. So I watched like
So
Swiss
good.
Family Robinson. If you've never seen that, watch that. That's a great movie. It's funny because they have to put a disclaimer at the beginning because there's like Filipino pirates, so they're like some themes were racist back in the day.
I
But
think they should have done for Splash Mountain. They shouldn't have changed
Yeah.
danger. They just put a sign
Nothing.
like, if you're offended, get off.
yeah, no racism
There's the law.
intended. Yeah.
There's the law. Get off.
But if you watch Bed Knobs and Broomsticks, I get a real Prince John feel from the King line in that movie
Oh,
when they
yes,
go into the
yes.
cartoon scenes. It's very feels very similar. I have to watch it again to double check, but that's the vibe I got from that. Oh, but one thing that I wanted to talk about when you're talking about like him sucking his thumb and holding his
Pulling out
ear.
his ear.
That was one of the two of the animators were talking, and they were talking about how part of doing animation is being very observant of the people in your life around you and kind of working quirks and ticks and things into the characters to make them more human, more anthropomorphic. Oh, look at me.
Oh,
And
Nailed it.
one of the guys was talking about how his son would do that, where he would suck his thumb and hold his ear when he was scared or nervous or going to sleep. And the other animator talked about how when he was doing his Prince John and his scenes, if you look when they're later on in the movie when they're stealing the gold and Prince John is sleeping and they're running it down the ropes, he's rubbing his feet together. Prince John, he's got his feet and he's doing this number here. And he said that was from his son. He used to do that when he was a baby. And all I could think was, you, when you were a kid, you used to do that. And I was like, because you were young then, like a little kid, and you'd be like, oh, let me just like lay down with you. And I'm like, all right, fine. So you like lay down, and you start like digging your feet into like under my I'm like, okay, get up, you fucking piece of shit.
It was how when my feet hurt, it was a way that I could massage my foot.
Yeah, I
was
like, get out of here. That was super funny.
I'll still do it, but I won't. But now I'll do it in the couch. Like I won't do it to other people. It's just to get compression on my foot.
Right.
So because they've now won and are, rubbing Prince John's nose in it by making a song, he goes.
What happens is the sheriff comes walking into the town singing the song, and they're talking back and forth.
No, not into the town. He's in the castle.
He's in the castle.
And this does the me.
Yeah. Hiss is like, oh, let me give it a shot. Oh, a pox on the 40 King of England. And Prince John is standing there for this.
And he's like, the marvelous, the benevolent. And he's like, no, the phony wheeling.
The sheriff's correcting him, like, no, he's an idiot.
Yeah.
And that's when he gets super pissed off and he says, double the taxes, triple the taxes.
The sheriff is like, this is a banger, dude. Like,
right.
What are we talking about?
They're jamming out to it.
And it cuts to the rooster in prison.
This is my favorite song in the whole movie, and it's like 5 lines.
And Mumford & Sons does a good cover of this song too.
Really?
The Not in Nottingham, isn't that Mumford & Sons?
I think they do.
I'm pretty sure they do a cover of it. That's pretty good. And he basically said
every town.
And the best part of that is you get he says, and if you couldn't pay your taxes, as he starts to play the song, you go to jail. And it pans up and he says, yep, I'm in here too.
Yeah, they got me too.
He's the only one that they don't put in the white and black though. They don't put him in the white and black.
He's in the menstrual
and they let him keep
stuff.
his loop.
Yeah.
But while he's singing the song, you get the beat of the drums is them dragging the raccoons, dragging their ankle,
their ball and chain,
and it sounds like a So then the sheriff goes into the church and steals from the poor box that the mother,
the one farthing that the poor
sister
little mice.
And Friar
Yeah.
Tuck loses it and starts belly bumping him.
Love that. Yes.
Get out of my church. Get out of my church.
And is basically one-on-oneing the sheriff with a stick, and he's winning until the two vultures come.
Yeah, Trigger pulls his hood over his head,
and then they get him
the
with
sheriff
the
latches him.
clasp.
Trigger and Nutsy, which I know Trigger, I think the voice of Trigger and the sheriff were Pat. So Pat Buttram is the sheriff, and George Lindsay is Trigger, and I'm 99.999% sure they were the two dogs in Aristocats who are out in the country, and they're like, "Where's my Betty Bob basket?" And he's like, "I'm the leader. I'll tell you when we're going." All right, let's go.
I love how they
voices.
gave these characters, even all the way down to Nutsy, they have moments that you remember them for.
Yes.
And Nutsy has the 1 o'clock and all is well.
And he has the Jeepers, Trigger, put that pea shooter down.
Wait a second. Is the safety on, old Bessie? Yes, sir. That's right.
You go first.
That's what I'm afraid of. You go first.
So the final trap for Prince John is he's going to hang Friar Tuck, and he broadcasts it so that Robin finds out. And
Robin does the trick again.
Right. And they
dresses as the blind beggar.
And and the best part is with Trigger and Nutsy, who he's talking to, and it might even be a double hanging. Trigger's like, shut your mouth.
He goes, "Hey dummy, get to playing dumb." or something like that, something close to that. He basically calls him dumb and then says, "Start playing dumb."
And as the beggar, he said, "I thought it was Robin Hood he was after." Nutsy goes, "What do you know, Trigger? He gets it."
Nutsy's so funny, man. He's so funny. Which is funny because that's what Prince John wants in the end. He wants Robin to show up to try and save him.
But he wants him to show up kind of like they do
on the day of the hanging.
On the day of the hanging. But he shows up the night before to break everybody out of jail. And if Robin Hood could have, his greed almost gets him here. Because if he could have just let those 2 bags go, that Prince John was holding, everybody gets out. And and we're good.
I think it's the point of like he wanted it to really hurt. Like not
I think
just
if
like
he woke up with only 2 bags of money and no prisoners,
it would have really hurt just the same.
Yeah, I guess so. You're right. I just love that Hiss has his own personal rocking basket at the foot of Prince John's bed. Like he's just supposed to be there the whole time.
Oh, you're never around when I need you.
Yeah, you're never here when I need you.
And they jailbreak everybody, and they're finally getting away. They've made it. They have all the money, and the little sister is, "Wait, mama, wait for me," and is running.
And she's like, "My baby,"
and Robin's like, "Well, here we go." Turns around, hands the baby through the gate, and now is locked in, and turns into Keanu Reeves from The Matrix. Can climb up the wall. And
I was going to say John Wick. He starts John Wicking this thing.
He doesn't kill anybody. That's the thing. He just kind of does a Superman thing where he flies around and outsmarts the sheriff.
You know what he does? He does the Office. Parkour.
But he doesn't fall into the refrigerator box.
Or the garbage can.
And he gets up to the top of a tower that the sheriff has set on fire and jumps into the river.
I don't know how I kept doing it, but you get distracted while you're watching these movies, and I kept missing how the tower is set on fire. And it's basically he's just chasing him with a torch, and Robin runs through some curtains, and he just wipes the freaking torch across all these drapes. Like,
and
you probably
Robin
shouldn't do that.
Him with like wooden chairs as they're inside, so his weapon keeps getting lit on fire, and he keeps having to new weapon. Oh, crap. That's flammable too.
Can I nerd out for a second as a animation study
person?
Please, no, please, Trey, please let me nerd, please. Okay, all right, just real quick. Okay, so they're running away. and like the guards are shooting arrows at him and stuff like that. They're heading
Who
out.
all have
and
stormtrooper aim, by the way.
they all stormtrooper aim. So Skippy the bunny and Robin Hood both draw bows. Okay, Robin lets his go. When Skippy lets his go, and it's such like a, again, like you gave Snake's elbows to rest his head on. How did you? So Skippy fires his, the little kid, and it's such a little kid thing to do that the tension from the bow when he lets it go causes him to stumble forward, and it's just 2 little animated steps, but it sells the scene so well that like, oh, Robin Hood, he's firm in his grip, he got it, and he shoots the wolves, and it catches all their coat sleeves and pins them. Yeah,
and I love that scene too because with the stumble forward from Skippy, when he looks up, he thinks he shot the arrow that got all of them.
Oh yeah, dude!
I love that, man. I can't tell you how much just as a wannabe animator person.
It's those little things like what Trey and I were talking about, where they take these little moments and these observations from real life, like with Prince John rubbing his feet together, that almost make them human and give them real personality, and that like they're not perfect, they stumble forward, they do these things that would happen to people. It's cool. It's really cool.
It's just so amazing. It's
the attention to detail is what makes it. It's what sells it.
Yes, absolutely.
So then you get your stereotypical the hero's dead moment. They all think Robin is dead in the water.
Dude, and Disney was not shy about breaking your damn heart back in the day.
And Little John starts to cry, and the Skippy's like, he's going to be fine, right, Little John? Little John doesn't comfort him.
No, Little John's in shock.
Walking away.
Yeah, he's like, bro, I'm not answering that question.
This might have been
done.
it. Yeah.
I'm done. I didn't sign up for this. And you see a straw start to come toward the shoreline, and when Little John bends down to see what it is, a bunch of water hits her in the face. And Robin pops up.
Because Skippy sees it. He's Little John, look,
I bet he could have swam twice that far, and Robin Hood's like, no.
I love how his points out, and look, you've burned
PJ,
your mother's castle.
He made it. No, the best is he's alive. They can win again.
You burned your mother's castle, Mommy. And he starts chasing him with a stick.
After that, it cuts to the town square, and the wanted poster has a big yellow sash across it that says "Pardoned by King Richard."
Yes,
and then you get the famous line where he's talking to Friar Tuck, and he's like, "It appears I have an outlaw or an in-law," because he married.
And they make that joke. They make that joke at the beginning of the movie.
Yes, that he would be.
I think the hen says, King Richard, when he returns, could have an outlaw for an in-law.
So as there
was a deleted ending in the movie where he's supposed to get wounded by Prince John as he's leaving the. So when he escapes the castle, Prince John is supposed to be cloaked and he's supposed to stab him. And they thought that he's about to stab him, and King Richard grabs Prince John's hand, and like
that would have been really cool.
But they thought that it made Prince John look they wanted to
evil.
keep him more campy instead of evil. Like,
I could see that. It would take a lot of the humor out of Prince John if he actually tried to stab
Robin. And you do get the fun
Robin.
scene at the end. Robin Hood and Maid Marian go into their honeymoon cart, and Skippy's like, somebody's got to keep him company, and runs. And Little John's wearing the clothes that don't fit. Somebody needs to get this guy a suit that fits.
Yeah.
You can chutney over there.
Meanwhile, Prince John and the sheriff
are breaking the royal, what is it, like the royal rock pit?
Yes, it's like they're all old rock pit or something like that.
Yeah, and they're all breaking rocks, and he breaks one, it falls on his foot, and he just yelps in pain and is just dying laughing at him.
Royal rock pile is what
royal rock pile.
It's a royal rock pile. Oh, hold up.
And then Trigger gives old Bessie a smack, and it goes off and shoots all around the world, and almost shoots them for like the millionth time.
And it's
then
funny
because sticks in the heart.
It's almost King Richard knows that they're just dumb. They're doing what they're told. Like the sheriff was in on it because he was stealing money from people, and the snake was in on it.
The guards, they were just following the king.
Yes.
he's like, Trigger, you watch him, because if you accidentally shoot him, I don't really care.
Yeah. Use old Bessie. Who gives a crap?
Yeah,
Oh,
you're exclusively to use old Betsy when you watch.
I think there's an Easter egg here. At the end, everyone's curtsying and bowing as they pass in their carriage on the way to the honeymoon. I am 90% sure, 99% sure these are a reference. There's little mice next to the blacksmith dog whose leg is broken the whole day. There's little mice in clothes. I'm pretty sure those are supposed to be the ones from Cinderella.
Okay.
The three blind mice, or the house mice that help.
Just
her
the house
build
mice that help Cinderella put all her stuff together. I am pretty sure that those are supposed to be referencing to those. Like, that's pretty cool.
Cinderella.
I love that voice. Oh man. Okay, I wanted to ask you guys, side characters of these who are your favorite side character animal people from this movie?
My two favorite are the minstrel. I mean,
okay, the minstrel, yeah,
and then come back next year on my birthday.
Little sister.
Dude, the voice actor
Robin
is
Hood.
so awesome.
Come again.
Yeah.
My birthday.
On my birthday. Bye, Mr. Robin Hood. Like, I love that the speech impediment that the character has. It's so awesome.
My birthday.
The kicker for her is too. They go outside. He has this brand new bow, and she goes, "Let me try it, Skip."
Yeah.
Like, it's
and then the
bow.
other sister also is like, "Yeah, let me try. Because I'm taking the first shot."
And maybe it's too high. I'm not either.
Yeah.
Crap.
He's like shooting it straight up in the air.
If you guys had just shut up for a second, I would have been able to shoot it.
You let me think. Okay, can I have a moment with my toy? Anyways, how about you, Trey? What's your favorite non-main character?
I like the turtle.
Toby.
And I like Hiss. Hiss is really funny.
Yeah.
And the actor that voices Hiss has gap teeth, and they kept that as a character trait for Hiss. That's why he has the gap in the middle.
Nice. Yeah. I had to say, so my one of my favorite is the rhinos.
Yeah.
I loved the rhinos in this, and I thought it was kind of funny. Just when you grow up with Stever, when you learn facts, and those facts always stay with you. And my idea was that rhinos, they have terrible eyesight actually, and so it makes sense that like why Little John could like steal from that treasure chest, like could drill a hole and steal from it. And they're like, oh, what is that? And then when rhinos get moving, they actually their eyesight gets worse. They just run. And so that's why like they're crashing and everything. So I thought that was brilliant. I don't know if they knew that back then, but I knew that, and I was like, oh, maybe that's
they take out the freaking tower.
Yeah. But my other favorite character who does not get enough screen time is the crocodile with the axe at the end of it.
With the tournament of the golden arrow.
Everybody. And his little arms sticking up. Yes, it's such a good voice, but it's so funny how he's carrying around an axe like it's the most lethal weapon of the whole movie. It was like, he I think 3 or 4 times they used the same, no, 2 or 3 times they used the same animation of him nearly hitting the old little owls, like with the axe. Like it just kind of comes down behind them, and even he's surprised. We're like, oh shit, it didn't kill them. Like, oh my god. So, I don't know. Go back and watch for the murderous axe wielding crocodile of the scene. Oh man, but it's so
just
weird.
Check out Robin Hood, man.
Horses.
This is a great movie.
So good. So
I'm telling you. The only one that the only scene that I like, it's so many movies too. It's the slow song.
Oh yeah,
it's funny. That's the song they like won an award for.
I know, and I totally get like putting it in the movie, and people love it. But it's like watching Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Cheer up, Charlie. Get out of here. Fast forward. I don't want to see this crap. But it's important. Like it's showing that Robin and Maid Marian are together and they're in love and they're doing their and then it cuts right into the Pox on the Funny King of England, I think, because they all show up in the woods right then.
Yes, they do.
Friar Tuck kind of busts out and he's like, "Hey!" And they're like, "Oh, Kegley, you just ruined this. We were about to get busy, and here you are.
Drunk. Let's do this."
I will say there's some cock blocking happening in this movie.
They crashed that date so hardcore.
But they are also weirdly really invested in them getting together. Like everybody's like, "Kiss, kiss her, like take her for yours. It's
Well,
like,
there's
oh
the
my
type of people
God.
that are gonna. There's the
She's
type of people that are gonna
17.
stand outside their room like, yeah, dude,
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna
Gross.
Now
So
that you
gross.
mentioned slow songs, that makes me think of The Rescuers, which I think was also
Oh,
from the
heck yeah,
70s
dude.
area. That's
Rescuers
a great
Down
movie.
Under, hot take. Rescuers Down Under better than the first one.
Oh yes, absolutely, 100% on that. But like, there's a great one from that.
Me
It's
too.
so 70s, but it's like they're flying through the air, and there's this beautiful song where they're like, "It's just another day" or something. And you're like, "Oh my God, what is?" Like, I didn't want to skip it actually. As an adult, I remember as a kid being like, "Fast forward, what is this?" But as an adult,
I didn't
I
have
was
time
like,
for this nonsense.
Back to the
"Shut
action.
up!" Like this is gorgeous. What is this?
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, so many little unrecognized gems from that era of the 70s and in late 70s, early 80s, that they had some really great pieces in there.
It was
So-
funny how this movie was panned by critics, but they like on a worldwide market they did $18 million, which at the time was the highest for any Disney film or animated film. I'm not sure about any film.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you think about it, like, I guess people just didn't realize, like, oh yeah, like families will want to take their kids to these things. Like, it's a new genre that's really worth like investing in, you know?
Yeah, and it's like we talked about where the critics sometimes are too critical. Like you're taking in outside factors and not just appreciating this movie for what it is and enjoying it for what it is. You're looking at the fact that this is the first movie without Walt, and this is this and this is that, and the story of Robin Hood, and oh, what did you do to this story? And it's like, shut up, just watch the movie. Like, is the movie good? Yes,
Take it for what it is.
Phenomenal.
Yeah,
It's so funny.
It's like we talked about. My favorite part of this whole movie is when the freaking rooster sings "Every Town Has Its Ups and Downs." It is literally like 5 lines long. The song has like 8 lines in it total, and it is so slow, and the gaps between the lines is like a full measure. I'm like, get to the next line. But I rewound it like 50 times.
Yeah,
and listen to the song.
Every time.
Yeah, for some reason it strikes a chord with me.
Such a good song.
But it's funny to go through when you're doing the research for these and look at what they call goofs, and some of the stuff is Maid Marian and Cluck are playing badminton, and that sport wasn't invented till the 19th century, so they couldn't have been playing badminton.
Oh my God!
Turtle had
Happy
glasses.
Birthday, and Happy Birthday hadn't come out yet. And
Yeah.
like, dude, shut up, man. Who cares?
You know what else? A fox can't shoot a bow and arrow or swim with a reed in its mouth
Or talk.
Yeah. And if you tied a snake in a knot, I'm pretty sure you kill it.
One of the things they say is that when his blows his head up in the balloon, it would be filled with carbon dioxide. So not only would it float, but he would suffocate to death.
Dude, some people are so literal and stupid.
My 10-year-old daughter, though, picked up on that.
I was already...
Yeah. My 10-year-old daughter picked up on that. She was like, but how is he making more air when he's sealed inside the air of the balloon? How wet? And I said, well, snakes breathe through their butts, and then they really. Nice. And I told her that, and she's believed it.
That's a very responsible fatherly move.
Yes, you're welcome. I'm going to let her go. Growing up with that knowledge,
yeah. She's going to be like 18 in like a biology class. They're gonna be like, hey, look at this snake, and she's like, they breathe through their butts. My dad told me.
Who told me that? My father. Dad. I'm going to get a lot of angry phone calls once this information becomes
wears
relevant.
a rigid cast, who's the hound dog. Rigid casts weren't adopted until the 20th century. So shut up,
God.
Dude.
That scene is that we didn't talk about that. That scene is rough when the sheriff comes in and they hide the gold. Yeah, they hide the bag of gold down his cast, and the sheriff tilts his leg up and the gold pours out. And then he starts whacking his foot, and the dog's like, it definitely gives a goofy yell. Like that is a goofy yell that comes out of him. Yeah, exactly. But anyway, thanks so much for joining us, you guys. This was a fun one. All these old school Disney movies are so good. Like one day we'll do Mary Poppins, like just these classic movies that. Watching them even today is a joy, is fun.
I feel like this one's where they really cracked the code on their animation that they used up until like when Pixar came out, and then
95.
they switched over to that.
Yeah, when Toy Story was the break.
Because
where they went
Aladdin looks
animated.
very similar to Robin Hood. Even their later animated ones look very similar to this one.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Got to do
But
Aladdin. King of
Definitely go
Thieves.
give it a check out if you on Disney Plus. It's totally worth your time. It's so fun. It's so good, especially if you have kids. It's a great movie. It's super funny.
Fun time.
But thanks again. Check us out on all your platforms. Nostalgialand.podcast on Instagram. Check us out on YouTube, especially. Like, follow, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell.
Okay.
Send it to your family and your friends and the people you hate. Anybody. Just pass it around like it's used. But until next time,
I'm Matt.
I'm Trey.
and I'm Tyler. Cowbunga.